the first Saturday for the WNBA. Like, this matters. There were some premier marquee matchups today. I think a lot of people didn't even realize that. I think a lot of people weren't paying attention. But it took one flagrant foul. It took one, let's say, shove, maybe. Caitlin Clark gets in the middle of the ball.
Maybe.
Some might say that she shoved Angel Reese to the ground. Didn't look that egregious to me, but Angel did not appreciate it. She gets up. There's trash talking going on, and all of a sudden social media blows up. Brother, this felt like exactly what the W needed, because it's a reminder it's here. It's a reminder of the drama, and we get two of the biggest stars just yapping at each other 30 seconds into the season.
It is a beautiful Saturday, and I'm always happy to spend it with you and the crew, my brother, but I think it is more convenient for you than anybody else that you can avoid the shame of you loudly declaring yourself for the Boston Celtics, because that's exactly what I was prepared to talk about. That's exactly what Ian was prepared to talk about today, and instead you say, no, throw out the rundown, boys. We're talking WNBA to start. Never you mind that I picked the Celtics to run away with the series, and understandably, some things had to happen for New York to be able to get that done. But still, I don't disagree with you that this is the kind of thing that this sport in particular needs, because this is now year 2 of them both, right? This is now how sustainable is Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the momentum that the WNBA seems to be building upon. Can we continue to captivate the country with a team like the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, and do so even in a blowout? Because it won a close game today, 93-58. Anybody who thinks that these two players are in the same class at this point, I mean, Caitlin just unbelievable. Another triple-double today, finishing 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals, and as Fitzy mentioned, the flagrant foul heard round the world, or at least round the internet, as the WNBA gets things going today. But, I mean, so, Fitzy, genuinely, how much WNBA did you watch last year? Because I'm really curious. I know that people follow Caitlin Clark. I know that the WNBA has never had more momentum than it does right now. But you personally, how many WNBA games did you watch last year?
Okay, so I'll be honest. I think it's probably an unfair question, only, and this not in the way most people are going to think. If you go back to my background, when I started in radio nationally, Sarah Spain was my first co-host, and I will always credit Sarah for day one saying, hey, we're going to talk about the W on this show, so get to know it. So I, from day one of radio, have watched a lot of W. And ESPN, when I worked for them, had me cover them quite a bit, doing digital shows all the time for the W. So I find myself having a good amount. It's not uncommon for me to pop the game on. Like, I was genuinely interested to see what a new look Aces looked like today against the Liberty. Flash forward, did not look good. So I was going to be watching these games anyway. I think for me, it's hard though. This is the thing we have to acknowledge. Like, I love men's college. You and I both love men's college basketball, right? I think it is impossible in October for anybody in the world to give a damn about men's college basketball. Like, as much as I love the sport, and it's one of my favorite things to cover, and nobody cares in October, right? It just doesn't happen. And so to me, when we were starting this weekend, all I kept thinking is, man, Celtics, Knicks, we got a Game 7 tomorrow in the NBA in the West. We got Thunder Nuggets, as I continually like to call it, because it sounds like a good band name. We got that going tomorrow afternoon. There is this moment of how do you cut through? The Preakness you heard earlier had a dramatic ending. Like, how do you cut through? I think this cuts through for the casuals all over the place. So I think part of what makes this a beautiful thing, like if it was Caitlin against anybody else, I don't know how much Twitter cares. I don't know how much X cares. I don't know how much radio cares. But Caitlin against Angel Reese, and to your point, a blowout game. Like, there was no conversation to be had about this game if it wasn't for the shove, and if it wasn't for the extracurricular activity afterwards, by the way, which did get Angel Reese and Aaliyah Boston both some technical fouls, we should mention. If were it not for that, I don't think anybody's talking about the WNBA action today.
No, and I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Also, an aside, Thunder Nuggets. It feels like we play a game on the local show around horse racing, given that the Preakness was today. Thunder Nuggets, a better horse or a better rock band? We can debate
Thunder
this.
Nuggets, a better rock band, but also Thunder Nuggets sounds like something maybe like after a late night in Nashville the next day, you got Thunder Nuggets.
No,
what? It's
no,
too early. It's
no.
too early. What? We're only
we
7 minutes into the show. It's
7 minutes in, we go with the bathroom humor. 7 minutes in.
I'm a child. You are working with a child, all right? Let's go.
You are the oldest child I know in my life. You're like Benjamin Button wanting to make bathroom jokes 7 minutes into the show. It's fine. It's fine.
You're never going to hear Thunder Nuggets and not think it again. Go ahead.
I can't. I mean, yes, let's now proceed with our serious analysis of women's professional basketball. But this is the thing, right? It starts the dialogue around these two teams. It reignites the dialogue around these two players. And you have quotes coming out on both sides. Caitlin Clark talking about on the broadcast, just a good take foul yesterday, during the game today, arguing with the officials that it was not flagrant at that point in time. Obviously, Angel Reese feeling much different about the situation, having to be held back. And, I know she was quoted as saying, let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it. Now, obviously, that's Caitlin trying to do some damage control on that, while Angel Reese is asking her, what the F is wrong with you after the play? But these are the kind of things that are good for sports in general. You try not to go over the line with stuff, and I'm on record as advocating for just generally more hate in sports, but you don't want to actively agitate some things there that would cause it to go over the line. But still, the rivalry element of it allows more people to follow along, even if you're not going to be able to catch every WNBA game every time the Fever and the Sky square off. You're going to be able to you will care about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese because it just gives you the juice. And the rest of the league obviously has compelling stars and compelling teams and things like that. But this is the thing that is really going to, I would argue, carry most of the water for the W throughout the course of the dialogue around its league. Now, at some point, you would like it to become a bit broader and to not just become so singularly focused on two players who are two excellent players. One clearly and obviously more excellent than the other, who is going to, I think, bail this league out in a huge way, in ways that they've been waiting desperately for years. A star of this caliber that is compelling across the world of sports. And that's, whether or not she leans into it, she doesn't seem to actively agitate it. Angel Reese and her are just clearly competitors. And that, I think, is at the crux of why people want to care about this thing, why people are going to buy into this thing, even if, it ruffles a little feathers on the court in the meantime.
He's Buck Rising. I'm Jason Fitz. And here's the thing that I want everyone to listen to this entire statement before they react to it, because sometimes this is said and it's triggering, and sometimes this is said and people are being stupid. I'd like to think I'm not, and this isn't. Sports are at their best when there's a hero and a villain. But here's where you're really at your best. Like the greatest HBO shows. You're not sure if you're rooting for or against somebody that's absolutely awful. Like Tony Soprano was a terrible, or not just HBO. Look at Breaking Bad. Like your main characters are people that, some people are rooting for and some people are rooting against. I think what's interesting is that so many people want to make Caitlin a hero and Angel a villain in these situations. Angel loudly booed as she came onto the court today. To me, what's really compelling about this is that Angel and villain works both ways. If you are an Angel Reese fan, you are looking at Caitlin and the attitude that she does have with refs and the way that she plays at times, and you're thinking, no, y'all, that's the villain. This is the hero. Like, this is the hero. She's the villain. If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, you're looking at it saying, no. This is the Steph Curry of the WNBA. She's the hero. Angel's the villain. What's interesting about this and why I think it's so compelling for so many people is that when you hear hero-villain, one side or the other takes it as a personal insult to the person that they root for, when in fact, I think there's enough hero and villain. This is very 80s wrestling. Like, I'm not sure if these guys are faces or heels. I'm not sure if they're good guys or bad guys. I just think that as fans, it becomes so polarizing one way or the other. It's like the Karen Reed trial in social media right now. Everybody's decided whether she's innocent or guilty. And my timeline is full of people that are wildly proclaiming that there's only one possible answer to the Karen Reed trial. It's the same with Angel versus Caitlin. Like, Angel supporters believe that Angel is absolutely being treated wrong and that Caitlin is the devil. And Caitlin supporters are looking at it and saying, how could you have any problem with Caitlin? It's Angel that's the problem. That's when you get your best stuff, though, because it engages everybody in the argument, in the debate, in the heat of and like eyeballs matter. That's why this is such a win for the W.
I honestly, Fitzy, I think it's better when Caitlin Clark is the villain. I think that she has so many more polarizing elements to her, even though, as you said, people who are in the Caitlin Clark camp, for lack of a better term, will tell you all of these things that Angel Reese does to agitate and instigate the kind of situations that she gets into on the court. But I think that Caitlin Clark has just as many of those qualities. But for some reason, when she does it, it ignites a different level of passion in both sides of those competing arguments. And I think it takes everything over. For some reason, and smarter people than me will have to help me understand why it is that she is just as compelling as she is, because to me, she's just an excellent athlete, right? I don't really care about the personality stuff. What she does on the court, what they both do on the court is spectacular to behold. But the way that people freak out about everything that Caitlin Clark does, good, bad, or indifferent, there's going to have to be some sociological studies done on what it is about America that just is so bought into or bought in against this figure that is coming in here and, I mean, honestly, revolutionizing the conversation, not the sport, but revolutionizing the conversation around the sport, even if she is also an excellent, excellent basketball player.
Look, sports you are being covered at the highest possible level when you're being covered with the least possible analysis. I will die on that hill. When you get to the biggest level, we rarely watch football shows where they sit there and tell you that a linebacker is 2 yards too deep. You know, that's just not the way it works. We want to sit there and talk about quarterbacks. So at the end of the day, what happened today, above and beyond being the first big Saturday of the WNBA, what happened today is that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark put jet fuel on the concept of, hey, the WNBA is back, which is good for the sport. It's good for our conversation. It's good for everybody involved in this because it will still be talked about.